The YouTube is working. Yeah. The next one I am not going to do any YouTube.
Only in person.
Dharma Sutra I don't broadcast. If you want to listen, come.
Yeah, constantly we're looking at the phone. I'm not seeing it.
Huh?
Barn was the best one.
Barn was the best.
So cozy, it was very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, people miss that barn.
Very much, very much.
She is the one who utilized most. Summer camp. It is finally going to come back to you. Going circle. Okay. Maunavyakhya prakatita parabrahmatattvam yuvanam varishishtan devashatrishighanaihi avrutam brahmanishtai acharyendram karakalita chinmutramanandamurtim swatma ramam muditavadanam Dakshinamurthy Vatavitapi samipe bhumibhage dishannam sakalamunijananam jnanadataaramarad Tribhuvana gurumisham Dakshinamurthy devam Satmarana dukkacheda daksham namami Chitram vadatarormule Vridha shishya gururuyuva Gurostu maunam vyakhyanam Shishyastu chinna samshaya Nithaye sarva vidyanam Vishaje bhavaroginam Gurave sarvalokanam Dakshinamurtaye namaha Pranavarthaya Shuddhajnaneikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye namaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Mukti Bheda Vibhagini Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye namaha Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijandargyatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivorbhutam Yatha Nidraya Yasakshat Kurute
Prabodha.
तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगतितं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकमसत् कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यत्साक्षात्करणात् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नानाच्छिद्रगडोदरस्थितमः दीपप्रभाभास्वरं ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकरणद्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्तमनुभाते तत्समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियाण्यपि चलां बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान्धजडोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्ताभृशं वादिनः आशक्तिविलासकल्पितमः व्यामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये
राहुग्रस्तदिवाकरेन्दुसदृशः मायासमाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रकरणोपसंहरणः योगो सुषुप्तः पुमान् रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये यज्ञायते तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये भाव्यादिष्वपि जागृतादिष्टथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वती व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमित्यं तत्स्फुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया स्वस्वामि सम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृपुत्राध्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जागृति वाय एष पुरुषः मायापरिभ्रामितः
तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये त्वनिलो निलम्बरमहर् नादो हि मां शुक्पुमान्
इत्याभाति चराचरात्मकमिदं
यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम् नान्यत् किञ्चन विद्यते विमृशताम् यस्मात् परस्मात् विभो तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये त्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदम्
यस्मादमुष्मिंस्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात्तदर्थमननात्
ध्यानाच्च सङ्कीर्तनात् स्वात्मत्वमिति भूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं सिद्धेत्युत्पत्तता परिणतं च ऐश्वर्यमव्याहतम् विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरीतुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोर्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेव अद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये. Each verse is very profound and each verse is independent also, not that connected to each other. Each one is independent. So, the two example Bhagavan gives here, one is Darpana example, another is Sopna example. So with these two examples, there are 4 items are involved or established. One is, the first feature is that the mirror is the adhishthanam or the support of the entire street or nagari. Not the original street, okay, now don't get mixed up. There is a problem because example also is a problem. And here we have to pay attention to only the reflected street, not the original street. That you have to cut off that from your mind. If you keep that, you will never understand this verse. Forget the original street, focus only upon the mirror and the reflected street. First feature we understand, this is adhishthanam. Mirror is adhishthanam. In English, the mirror is the supporter and the street is the supported. Reflected street again. Supporter and supported relationship. Adhisthana Adeya Sambandha. Supporter and supported relationship, and therefore only no part of the street can exist out of the mirror. No part of the street. Which street? Remember, reflected street, yeah. No part of the reflected street can exist outside the mirror. So wherever the street is there, wherever the reflected street is there, there is the mirror is adhishthanam. So adhisthanattvam of the mirror is the first feature you have to learn from the example. Number 1. Number 2, then the second feature you have to understand is the reflected street does not have an existence of its own. The reflected street, pratibhatika nagari, does not have an existence of its own. Even though it is experienced by me, I very much experience the mirror city and also various motions of the people, transactions of the people, all of them I experience in the mirror. but none of them has its own existence. It is borrowed from the mirror. And the existence is borrowed from the mirror. Okay. And therefore the reflected city has borrowed existence, paratantra satta, whereas the mirror has got its own existence, which is not borrowed from the reflection. Whether the reflection is there or not, mirror exists. But reflection cannot exist without the mirror. So there is interdependent. So mirror can exist without reflection, but reflection cannot exist without the mirror. A reflection cannot exist without mirror. Mirror can exist without reflection, and therefore, what is the second point? Mirror is satyam, having independent existence, whereas reflection is mithya, having dependent existence. Thus, adhishthanatvam of the mirror is the first lesson. Satyatvam of the mirror is the second lesson, second feature. The third feature is, we have done this last class, but I am just reminding you. What is the next thing that you have to discern here? Whatever event happened in the reflected street, whatever events happens in the reflected street will not affect the mirror. If there is reflected fire, it does not burn the mirror. If it is reflected water, it does not wet the mirror. Therefore, mirror is achetyoyam adahyoyam akletyo shoshya evacha nityas sarvagatah sthanuhu achaloyam sanatanaha. Reflected water, reflected stone, etc., whatever happened, I experience it, I see all of them happening, but the mirror is asangatvam. Therefore, the third feature is what? Asangatvam of the mirror. So, Shankara's time there was no film, movie was not there. So, he could have used that screen and movie. The unaffectedness of the mirror, this is the third feature of the mirror, that is asangatvam. Then the fourth one, since the reflected objects are mithya, having no existence of their own, they are as good as non-existent, which means they cannot be counted along with the mirror. While counting the number of objects, do not count mirror number 1 also, and the reflected object as number 2. You do not count, and therefore they are uncountable, and therefore what is countable is only 1. Even though there are hundreds of reflected objects, 1,000 reflected objects, none of them can add up to the mirror. And therefore, what is the fourth feature? Advaitatvam of the mirror. Advaitatvam, non-dual. That is why when you order coffee, you do not order for the reflected people also in the hotel. Not required, you do not count. So thus Advaitatvam. Advayatvam means what? Without a second thing. Non-duality of the mirror is the fourth feature. Thus, adhishthanatvam. Advayatvam, understood? Advaita means what? Non-dual, right? What is non-dual?
There is no other thing.
No second thing. So that's the way to understand. No second thing. That alone is there. Kaivalya bhavaha. Then satyatvam, then asangatvam and advaitatvam are the feature of the mirror to be noted. And what is the relationship between them? We can say it is adhisthana adheya sambandha or satya mithya sambandha. Satya mithya sambandha. This is what Shankaracharya wants to convey through Darpana Nagari Drishtantah. And he wants to improve the example a little more. Therefore, he gives second example. Swapna Nagari Drishtantah. When we come to Swapna Nagari, here also we should see two things, like mirror and the reflection. Today morning only I talked about, we have in the Karma Siddhi class, we talked about same topic, Swapna. So there it was very little more advanced. So in Jagrat Avastha, consciousness is a witness, Sakshi. But in Jagrat Avastha, what happened? The Sakshi uses the mind to see the world. But what happens in the process, the Sakshi doesn't see the mind as an object. It is something like your pair of glasses. When it is dirty, you remove it and clean it. And when you put it on, when you remove it and clean it, it is an object. But when you put it on, when you see through the glasses, you don't make the difference. So you and the glass become Sakshi. And the world become object, isn't it? So this is what is happening to us. But whereas in Swapna, what happens is, only in Swapna, Sakshi is separate, mind is separate. That's the beauty of Swapna. It's a very good point that the Sureshwaracharya brings out there. Why? Because Sakshi doesn't identify with the mind. In waking, Sakshi identify with the mind. So therefore, only in Swapnavastha, Sakshi remains as Sakshi. Oh. So by the way, I said that. Now here Swapna Nagari example. No, Swapna Nagaram. The dream world is one thing, and the entire dream world is residing in me, the waker. To be precise, in my mind. In my mind, it is resting. But since the mind is an integral part of the waker, I will use the expression waker. So the mirror of the first example is comparable to the waker, and the reflection of the first example is comparable to the Swapna Prapancha. Swapna prapanchaha. So what is the relationship between me, the waker, and the Swapna prapancha? Here also we have to see the four features as we saw for the mirror. Adhishthanattvam, Satyatvam, Asangatvam, Advaitatvam. These are the four features we saw. Here, I, the waker, am the Adhishthanam support for dream world. The dream time, the dream space, the dream galaxies, the dream solar system, the dream planet, the dream continents, the dream states, and the dream streets, and all the dream world which is almost infinite, all of them are resting in me, the waker. How do you prove that the dream world is resting in me, residing in me, as long as I support the dream world by continuing to sleep? As long as I support the dream world, how do you support? By continuing the sleep, the dream world exists. The moment I withdraw the support, like a coalition government, you see. What happened to the government? It fails, it falls. Why it falls? Because it is false. Similarly, as long as I support through sleep, the dream world continues. The moment the waker withdraws the support, the dream world collapses. Now, do you have a dream world? If you have a dream world, you would not hear my question. Therefore, the waker is Adhishthanam. Then the second one you have to see is what? That the existence of the dream world is not its own original existence. It is borrowed from the waker. What is Tattvabodha definition for dream? Whatever that you see in the waking world, yad drishyati, yad pashyati, that alone is projected in the dream. I don't remember the definition, but that is what it is said there. Whatever that you see, experience in the waking world, it is vomited there. Gurudev used to say, dream is a vomit. Why do you want to analyze? So, I, the waker, lend existence to Swapna Nagari, which means without me, the dream world cannot exist. Whereas, without the dream world, I can, thank God, happily exist. Therefore, no dream world without waker, whereas waker is without dream world, and therefore waker has got Swatantra Sattaha. Swatantra Sattaha. The dream world has got Paratantra Sattaha. Paratantra means depending upon something. Dependent existence. Therefore, what is the second feature of the waker? Satyatvam. Independence. The existence lending support to the Swapna. Then what is the third feature? Asangatvam. Whatever events happen in the dream world, imagine. In dream, you go to Europe. You are trying to go in the real world and you could not because of visa problem, and therefore you take a trip to your you go to Europe without visa. In dream you don't have to take a visa. All the travel you do in the dream has nothing to do with the waker. Isn't it? Buying ticket, paying money, credit card, etc., all those things. Waker continued to lie down on his bed. He has not moved even a few feet, let alone miles. If he had moved a few feet, he would have fallen from the bed. Therefore, the travel does not belong to the waker. Similarly, if there is a fire, it does not destroy the waker. If there is a heavy rain, it does not affect. If he earns a lot of money in dream, the waker does not become richer through dream wealth. In short, waker is asangaha. Asangaha, the dream even does not touch the waker. That is why after waking up we are able to say, thank God, it is only a dream. So this is the third feature. And what is the fourth feature? Advaitatvam. The dream object and people, how many or whatever be their number, none of them can be counted. The only countable one is waker, and therefore the people in dream are as good as non-existent. If you are staying alone in a room and if you dream so many people, and if somebody asks how many are there, you do not count the dream people. And therefore I am Advayaha. So through the second example, Shankaracharya conveys the same thing. Now in the same way, Shankaracharya wants to say, I, the consciousness, am like the mirror and the waker. So far it would have been like the joke. But now it is serious. I, the consciousness, am like the mirror and the waker. And the entire universe I experience, the entire Jagrat Prapanchaha is comparable to what? Darpana Nagari, reflected city, or Swapna Nagari. So this universe is including the body and mind. The entire Anatma Prapanchaha, including the world, body and mind, is comparable to Swapna Nagari or Darpana Nagari. Darpana or waker. That means what? Now apply these four principles. You will be fearful. Apply the fourth principle. The consciousness, very careful, not the body or mind. I, the consciousness, am the adhishthanam of the whole universe. No part of the universe exists outside the consciousness I. Even the furthermost galaxy is existing in me. Which me? The consciousness me. Not within the body, not even within the mind, but within me, the Chaitanyam alone. See, the beauty is, with this understanding, you open your eyes and see. The tree that is there is also bathed in consciousness. You are also consciousness. and seeing is taking place in space, there also consciousness. So what is this transaction going on? It is consciousness to consciousness. How beautiful it is. That this awareness is to be kept. Then you are talking to your number one enemy also. What is that? I'm talking to whom? Paramatma. We forget this. Then we get into trouble. I and mine comes. Why did she do that? करने दो ना, क्या है, सब भगवान का लीला है. Let everybody do whatever they want. They exhaust their vasanas. Some by shouting, some by screaming, some by yelling. Watch it. Enjoy it. Why you contribute to that? See? जिंदगी तो एक खेल है भाई. Do the sport, it's a sport. And play well, that's all. And enjoy the sport. Even the furthermost galaxy is existing within me. Which me? The consciousness me. Not within the body, not even within the mind, but within me, the Chaitanyam alone. Not only the remotest corner of the universe. That's why you don't say consciousness is within me. The body is in consciousness. Like the body is in space. Not only the remotest corner of the universe, the very time and space exist in me. The observer, I. Everything is within me, which is based on Mayeva Sakalam Jatam Mai Sarvam Pratishtitam Mai Sarvam Layam Yati. Kaivalya Vijat. I don't know you have taken that. Then what is my second feature? Satyatvam. Just as the Swapna Nagari does not have an existence of its own, the entire universe does not have an existence of its own. It is borrowed from the consciousness. And that is why to say something exists, you should be conscious of that. That is why Ramana Maharshi says, Sat pratyaya kinnu vihaya santam hriddesha chinta rahito hridakya katham smaramastvamekam tasya smriti tat pratidhaiva nishta. Ramana Maharshi wanted to write this book. Before writing, he wanted to remember the Lord. So he says, how can I remember you? To remember what is necessary, I have to exist. Sat pratyaya. Vihaya santam vihaya. Katham smarami. How can I remember you? Without you being there, illumining that thought. If you don't illumine the thought, how can I remember you? What a prayer. So you can never talk of the existence of something which you are not conscious of. So that is why existence and awareness, Sat and Chit, both are together. They are not separate. Existence of everything presupposes consciousness. It is borrowed from consciousness, and therefore I, the consciousness, am, is independently existence, whereas the world is not independently existent, and therefore I, the Atma, am Satyam. The world, the Anatma, is Mithya, which includes my own body and mind. This is the second feature. So to be connected, example to be connected, okay.
There's no difference between the mirror and Swapna.
Huh?
Darpana Nagari, Swapna Nagari, no difference, right, Swapna?
No. Swapna and Darpana is not.
So he's just giving additional example.
No, it is intimate. One is outside, another is subjective. Yeah. That's your own example. You see it yourself, right? Here, in external example is, in external example you depend upon the mirror. But here you are depending upon what? Your own mind. So one is subjective. Now the third feature is the extremely important feature, because our liberation depends upon the assimilation of the third feature. Our liberation depends upon the assimilation of the third feature. What is the third feature? I, the Atma, the consciousness, am Asanga, which means any event which is in the form of interaction between Mithya world, Mithya body, and Mithya mind. It's too much, right? Any event which is in the form of an interaction between the Mithya body, Mithya mind, and the Mithya world, all those events cannot affect me. Which means the Satya Chaitanyam. Therefore, Asangoham, 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 Punah Punaha, Satchidananda Rupoham, Ahameva Ahamavyaha. Asangoham, Asangoham. So that's why in 5th chapter also Bhagavan said, Pashyan, Shanvan, Spashan, Jikran, Asnan, Gachan, Sopan, Sasan, Pralapan, Visarjan, Grinnan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Napi, Indriyan, Indriyartheshu, Vartanda, Iti Dharayan. Aham nakinjit karomiti. Guna guneshu vartante, indriyani indriyartheshu vartante. So seeing, hearing, doing, talking events, all these events are nothing but guna guneshu vartante. Indriyani indriyartheshu vartante. It is like the fighting between two dream individuals. Imagine dream individuals fight, lot of blood flow. After waking up, do you wash your clothes to remove the blood stains? You do not, because the people are also mithya, their quarrel is also mithya, the blood stain is also mithya. Similarly, from Atma Drishti, all the events are mithya. This is conveyed in Gaudavadaja Karika, Vaitatya Prakaranam, 32nd verse. Na nirodho na chotpatti na baddho na cha sathakaha na mamokshur na vai muktihi ityesha paramarthata. There is no coming to an end, there is no manifestation, there is none bound, there is none seeking to attain, there is none seeking freedom, there is none freed. This is the transcendental, the final truth. Na bandhaha, na mokshaha. But you have to understand in its spirit, okay, real spirit. Otherwise it creates a lot of problem. An unprepared mind, when he listens to that, ha, I am free. That's why Virochana and Indra, both of them went to study from Brahmaji, you see. Brahmaji said, you are Brahman. Virochana said, very good, thank you. I was thinking about that, but now you confirmed. He took body as Brahman. Then what is the theory become? Khao, piyo, maja karo. Have a good time. As long as body is there, enjoy yourself. Vasmi bhudasya dehasya punarayatanam kutaha. Once the body is burnt to ashes, who is going to come back? So don't worry, enjoy. But Indra did not think that way. Body is nashwaram. So he started thinking. So he went back again and he served Brahmaji 32 years. 32 divine years, okay? And he gave him the teaching. So not the body. Brahman is not the body. Not the mind, not the intellect, not the ego. You are that Satchidananda Swarupa Atma. All the events of this world has no connection or does not affect the Adhisthana Atma. Asangatvam is the third feature, and therefore I am free from samsara. I am free from samsara. When will this freedom come? When will this freedom come? Shankaracharya uses present tense. Upanishad uses the present tense. Tattvam asi. I am free means freedom is a fact. It is not an event taking place at a given time or condition. You cannot say only when you are a brahmachari you can get moksha, or grahastha you can get moksha, or sannyasa alone you can get moksha. No. Moksha is ever present. So the freedom of me, the Atma, is a fact. It is not an event to take place in future. But Swamiji, I am not working for Atma's freedom. That is not even, but I am working for Anatma's freedom. He wants to work, workaholic. Vedanta says Atma is ever free, Anatma is never free. The body can never be free because it is eternally affected and influenced by the world, the time. That is called Jatakam. Time means Jatakam. Good time, bad time, Ketu Dasha, Rahu Dasha, Shukra Dasha, Shani Dasha. That means the world will affect your body and it will affect your mind also. So therefore, when some people are suffering around in the family, you will have this sympathy or compassion. Don't tell them you are Paramatma. Whatever you call it, the mind has to respond to the situation. That response is called being affected by the situation. And not only that, mind is affected by the past also, by the Purva Janma also. That is why certain type of emotions are not under your control. One side you keep on saying Aham Brahmasmi, and the other side certain emotion happen helplessly. Therefore, when I say I am free, I am not talking about the freedom of the mithya. I am talking about the freedom of satyam. So this is the third feature, asangatvam. And what is the fourth feature? Advaitatvam. Since the entire world is mithya, not having its own existence, it is as good as non-existent. And therefore it is uncountable, and therefore the only countable thing is I, the Satya Atma. This is called Atma Advayatvam. These are the four features of Atma to be learned with the example of Darpana Nagari and Swapna Nagari. So this is one part of this verse. I hope you are ready for the second part. To understand the second part, we will have to go back to the dream topic. I am not saying you have to go back to a dream. Dream topic. If you all go to the dream, what can we do? Now, no doubt the dream world is inside me and it is unreal, mithya. No doubt the dream world is in me, the waker, and it is mithya, but the dream world appears to be outside me and real when I am asleep. This is what we are going to study now. No doubt the dream world is within me and mithya, that is a fact. But the dream world appears to be outside me and real as long as I am asleep. So nidra makes the inside dream world outside. Nidra means sleep, makes the inside dream world outside. Makes means within quotes. Not only that, nidra makes the unreal dream world real, as though real. And what can be the Vedantic definition of nidra? Nidra is very easy. You can talk in two meanings. Simple meaning is sleep, and going to sleep is also easy. But what is the Vedantic definition of sleep? Vedantic definition of sleep is not being aware of my waker nature. I am asleep means what? I am not aware of my waker nature. Therefore, let me call it waker ignorance is nidra. Waker disownment is nidra. When I am sleeping, I am not aware of the fact that originally I am the waker, lying down in the bed, and I have got a lot of vasanas, and the vasanas have been activated, and therefore the dream world has been projected. One is not aware of all these. During dream, I am not aware of myself as a waker, as a projector of my vasanas, I do not know. Therefore, waker ignorance is nidra. Or still more technically, waker is adhishthanam. Waker adhishthanam is the first feature. So, adhisthana ignorance is nidra. Waker adhisthana ajnanam eva nidra iti uchyate. When I am asleep, when I have adhisthana jnanam, the inside dream appears outside and false dream appears real. This is number 1 point. You can see the connection now. And the second point, which is the extension is of this idea, because of nidra, this dream appears outside and real, and therefore nidra goes away. Nidra kshaye, nidra nashe means waking up, prabodha samaye. Prabodha is waking, and what is the definition of waking? The end of sleep. And what is the end of sleep or waking? I become aware of my waker status. So waking up is nothing but waker knowledge. Prabodha is nothing but adhisthana jnanam. Prabodha means adhisthana jnanam. And when I am aware of myself as the waker, when I have adhisthana jnanam, what happened? The outside dream is no more outside, and the real dream is no more real. It is falsified. In the same way, now Shankaracharya says, because of the ignorance of the Atma, Atma adhisthana ajnanam is called nidra number 2. Just as waker adhisthana ajnanam is called nidra, that is called worldly sleep. Atma adhisthana ajnanam is philosophical sleep. Anadi maya suptaha. Vedantic sleep, which is called avidya or maya. And when I am in the influence of the avidya nidra or maya nidra, what happens? This world which is really within me, this world appears as though outside. Correlate to the dream. Inside dream appears as outside because of nidra. Similarly, this world which is inside me, which me? The consciousness me, appears as though outside because of avidya nidra. So therefore now according to Vedanta, we are all avidya nidra. That is why Kathopanishad advised all of us uttishtaha jagrata prapyavaran niyodhata. Uttishtaha, uttishtada. How long will you sleep? Gaudapada says, anadi mayaya supta. You are all sleeping because of maya nidra. Avidya Nidra. Why you are all? I am also. Okay. We are all sleeping. We should say we, not you or me. Enough. Get up. Suprabhatam. Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narashardhula Kartavyam Devamandikam. This verse is appearing in Valmiki Ramayana. When Ramchandraji and Lakshmanji both were taken by Vishwamitra and they were walking and on Sarayu Nadi, on the banks of Sarayu Nadi, they slept the night. Think about it, Rajakumaras. They had all the luxuries of the palace and soft bed and all that. But now he is with the Guru, where he is sleeping on the ground. See the training. That is called real kings, see. Not like our local politicians. They have no idea about what is outside there. They talk about farmers, they talk about poverty, all that. They don't know anything about it. They are all rolling in trillion, millions, looted money. And they talk about garibi, hatao. Arey bhai, kya pata hai? What do you know about garibi? But those days, those kings went outside the world, they lived among one of them, and they experienced their sufferings. So our Bhagavan Ramchandraji and Lakshmana, both of them slept on the ground. Next day morning, Vishwamitraji is waking him up. Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate. Why? Ramchandraji was very prominent, very, diligent in performing Sandhya Vandanam. Morning getting up. He is Bhagavan himself, but you see, he practices that. That you see in Krishnavadara time also. His Dinacharya also given in Bhagavatam. So Suprabhadam, that reminded me of that, okay. You do not have to wake up, you don't have to wake up the Lord. Suprabhadam is for our waking up, not from local sleep, but from Atma Ajnana Nidraha. See, people generally ask this question, Rudrabhishekam. You are offering so many milk and this thing and all kinds of dravyas to Shivalinga. Why are you wasting? Why can't you donate to some anadashram or something like that? But whole Yudra Suktam, if you read it, it is so beautiful. The entire world, a Jivan Mukta Purusha, when he look at it, he see the entire world is Bhagavan himself. That is why in Rudra Suktam there is everything is given. Nothing is left. Taskaranam pataye namo namaha. Even the chief of the dacoits also prostrated. That is also Bhagavad Swarupa. And in the dust from the feet is also respected Namaha. So everything is taken. So the vision of that great Mahatma is what is depicted there. And while chanting that, if you pour all those dravyas, all dravyas are representing our vasanas. You are offering that to the Lord. So hoping that by offering he will exhaust it. But afterwards we'll take it out and make payasam and drink it. Badam milk. So, as long as avidya nidra continues, two things will happen. The world will appear outside and the world will appear real. At the moment I wake up, I become a jnani, I become Buddha. In fact, Buddha was called Buddha only in the philosophical sense. Buddha means the awakened person. Prabuddha. Prabuddha Bharatam is the name of the magazine. Buddha or Prabuddha means the one who has woken up from avidya nidra or maya nidra. And once I have woken up, what is my vision? I am the support of the world. I am Satyam, and I am not affected by anything that happened in the world. And I am the non-dual one, and the world appears as though outside. But really speaking, the world is in me. Only thing is me. Me means M capital. And Shankaracharya says, such an awakened person is the Guru. So, Prabuddha Purushaha is Guru. Supta Purushaha is only Kuru. Means go on doing work. In Sanskrit, do. Do means duty, karma. That is go on running. Anyway, that is just outside the point. So, Prabuddha Purusha is Guru Murti. And then every Guru Murti is Dakshinamurthy. And to that Prabuddha Purusha, who is the Guru Murti, who is Dakshinamurthy, my Namaskaraha. This is the essence of the first verse. Now the beauty is, the entire verse is grammatically one sentence. Grammatically one sentence, therefore a grammar student should do Anvaya to this verse and present it as one grammatical sentence. And if you try to translate it in English, you will not get anything out of it. And therefore, what I am going to do is, even though it is grammatically one sentence, I am going to chop it down to many sentences. And we will form several sentences and try to see whether I have interpreted properly. Now come to the verse. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam asti. This universe is comparable to a city which is reflected in a huge mirror. Vishwam, this universe, is tulyam, is comparable to, is equivalent to what? Nagari, a huge city, same as Nagaram. And what type of city? Drishyamana Nagari, which is seen, experienced. Darpana, in a mirror. When you study this example, you should only take the mirror as and the reflection. Do not argue or ask Swamiji for the reflection to form original city is required. They are all improper extension of the example. So take the example only to the extent required, and what are the things to be taken? The mirror and the reflected city. Therefore, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Asti. Because if you extend that, what will be the problem? You will end up. Brahman is mirror. City is a reflection. So in order to reflect the city, there must be a real city.
So second Brahman.
Then where is that city? Who created that city? All this problem will be there.
Infinite
Sometime if you tell example also, people mind very fertile. They start creating new thoughts. Okay. That is one sentence. So what is that? Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam asti. Number one. And the second sentence is Vishwam nija antargatam swapna vishwam iva asti. This universe is like the swapna universe. What type of swapna universe? Nija antargatam, which is really within me only. So this universe is comparable to swapna universe, which is really existing within me. Within me means what? Me, the consciousness. Not me, the mind. Then you will have a problem. How can the whole world exist in my mind? No, me, consciousness. So this universe is comparable to Swapna universe, which is really existing within me. Therefore, the idea conveyed is Swapna world is also within me. Jagrat prapancha is also within me. Anything objective is within the subject. There is no object separate from the subject. Therefore, object is mithya, subject is satyam. So, this is the second sentence, Vishwam nija antargatam swapna vishwam iva asti. Iva asti, nija antargatam means, nija means oneself, myself. Antargatam means what? Within. So this world is like a dream world which is within myself. Now the third sentence we have to see is Jagrat Vishwam Atmani Pashyati. Jagrat Vishwam Atmani Pashyati. Pashyan, we will take it as Pashyati. That means, really speaking, according to Vedanta, a person sees the Jagrat Vishwam, the waking universe. Waking universe means the universe of the waking state within oneself only. So the world we are experiencing within ourselves only, that means the world is actually existing in me. Atmani pashyati. This is the next sentence. Then the next sentence should be Nija antargatam swapna vidsham nidraya behihi udbhutam iva bhavati. Nija antargatam swapna vishwam nidraya behihi udbhutam iva bhavati. I hope you can understand. Nijantargatam swapna vishwam nidraya behihi udbhutam iva basti. The dream world which is really existing within ourselves appears as though outside when we are asleep. The inside dream world appears as though outside us when we are asleep because of the sleep. So, what is the function of sleep? Converting the inside universe into a seemingly outside universe. That is why in dream we see everything is outside, desha, kala, padartha, and we also interact with them and they also interact with us, and they are capable of giving happiness and sorrow, and according to Shastra, even some of the prarabdhas are exhausted through dream. Sukha dukkham. So dream is good in one way of exhausting our punya papas. So if you get bad dream, don't start feeling bad. It is good, it is gone. Some people say, I don't dream. Dangerous.
Remember
Eh?
People, they don't remember their dreams. I don't think it's the big one.
How can you not remember dream? You waking up, you remember. Waking up, you remember. So if a sannyasi has a momentary prarabdha for grihastha, if a sannyasi has a momentary prarabdha for grihastha, in Jagrat Prapancha, momentary grihastha is not possible. Then how to exhaust? In Swapna he can marry and enjoy Sukham and Dukkham, as the case may be, and thank God, wake up, what am I saying? The dream world is sufficiently external even to exhaust the prarabdha karma. Therefore, what is the sentence here? Nija antargadam swapna vishwam nidraya. Due to sleep, behihi udbhutam iva asti. The next sentence, yathaha, you have to make it as tataha in the same way. Nija antargatam jagrat vishwam mayaya behihi udbhutam iva asti. Nijantargatam jagrat vishwam, this universe which is really within me, mayaya. There, nidraya, because of sleep, inside world is converted to outside. Here, there is a deeper sleep called maya nidra or avidya nidra. So, mayaya is equal to avidya nidra. Because of avidya, the Jagrat Prapancha, which is really within me, appears as though outside. Behihi means, behihi udbhutam means appearing outside. Iva means as though. By using the word iva, as though outside, Shankaracharya conveys that it is really not outside. Everything is inside me only. Mayyeva sakalam jatam mayi sarvam pratischitam mayi sarvam layam yati. Matto nanya kinchana astidi vishwam. There is no world outside me. But I am saying it outside. It is because of avidya nidraya. Now you got sentences properly. Jagrat vishwam darpana darshamanadakari tulyam asti. Number 1. Jagrat vishwam nija antargadam swapna vishwam iva asti. Jagrat vishwam atmani pashyati. Nija antargadam swapna vishwam nidraya behihi udbhutam iva asti. So too, Nija Antargatam Jagrat Vishwam Api Avidyaya Nidraya Mayaya Behihi Udbhutam Iva Asti. Okay, then what is the next sentence? Yaha means Supta Purushaha Prabodha Samaye. Supta Purusha means sleeping person, and sleeping person was seeing the Swapna Vishwam outside. The sleeping person was seeing the dream world outside. But Prabodha Samaye, but when the sleeping person wakes up, what is his experience? His outside dream world is dissolved into himself. Swapna Desha disappears into himself. Swapna Kala, Swapna Padartha, Swapna Jiva, all of them dissolve effortlessly. Only a small task he has done, that he has to just woken up. That's all. And since the entire dream world resolved into himself, what remained? He, the waker alone, remains. Therefore, Advayam Swatmanam Sakshat Kurute. What is the full sentence? Supta Purushaha Prabodha Samaye Advayam Swatmanam Sakshat Kurute. On waking up, the sleeping person recognizes himself as the secondless one, without any dream object. That is Swapna Prapancha Rahitam Swatmanam Sakshat Kurute. Prapancha Upashamam Shantam Shivam Advaitam Sakshat Kurute. Mandukya. Prapanchopashamam Shantam Advaitam. Remember? Don't forget that. That's a beautiful definition. Sakshat Kurute means what? After waking up, I do not see the waker. After waking up, I do not see the waker. I claim myself to be the waker. I claim myself to be the waker. This claiming is called Sakshatkaraha. I should not use any other verb. If I say I see the waker, waker appears to be another person. If I say I experience the waker, it appears as though waker is different. Suppose I become waker, even that word is not correct strictly because there is no becoming involved. I was the waker before, I am the waker now, therefore I do not even become the waker. I claim myself to be the waker. This claiming is called Sakshatkaraha. Similarly, in self-knowledge, I do not experience the Atma, I do not see the Atma. In self-knowledge, I do not become the Atma. In self-knowledge, I claim I am the Atma. And this peculiar process of claiming is called Sakshatkaraha. So it is not coming face to face, Sakshatkara. If it is translated as direct experience, we will have all kinds of misconception that when I wake up, Brahman will be standing in front of, smiling, giving darshanam. It is not like that. I am the waker, therefore Prabodha Samaye. On waking up, Supta Purushaha Swatmanam Advayam Eva Sakshat Kurute. Then Tasmai means Buddha Purushaya, Prabuddha Purushaya. To that woken up person who is a jnani, who is liberated, who knows I am. Jagradhistanam, to that jnani, my namaskaram. So Tasmai Prabuddha Purushaya Jnanine Namaha. And who is that jnani? Sri Guru Murtaye, who alone is a guru, who alone can serve as a guru, And who is my Guru? Guru Murtaye. Because a woken up person alone can wake up another sleeping person. A woken up person alone can wake up another sleeping person. A jnani alone can make another ajnani a jnani. And therefore, every guru has to be a jnani. Therefore, tasmai prabhuddha purushaya guru murtaye namayidam. And see Dakshinamurthy. So every guru is Dakshinamurthy, manifested as only Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara. To that wise person who is a guru, who is none other than Dakshinamurthy, idam namaha. This namaskara of mine, thus through the first verse, Shankaracharya has revealed Atmanaha Adhisthanattvam Satyatvam Asangatvam Advitiyatvam. Now, that ends the first verse. We will see the second verse next class. May 2nd. Yeah. I'll come back. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.